my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. All about trap on my phone. Always took on my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. All about trap on my phone. Nigga trying to eat. One of the police. Oh, God is stealing from me. I'm on the way to pray. But my Jesus can save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hate me. Get him away from me. Always up on my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I try to trap on my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I try to trap on my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I around with my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I around with my phone. Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Like a little play it cool now, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get me green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Cool hanging out the poop, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't nothing on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wrong. When niggas do it, man, you know that they be hating on you. You don't open that you call it, you ain't know that. Bullshit get bread from the envy. Best friend get the look at my enemies. When you got it, it's count empty. Perfect recipe to win like a real team. Looking for my friends out view. Run from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spinning like what you think I've never let it put it deep between you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when I step along, I'ma flex that shit. Told myself when you getting money, never look to a bubble, flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, it's the best shit. Gotta hear something really make you text it. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit. Always up on my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I ride trap on my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I ride trap on my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I ride around with my phone. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone. While I ride around with my phone.
Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up.
Watch out for the snakes. Watch it. I came up in 94 where all the banging was. Didn't have a father figure. All I had was streets and drugs. So naturally, my mentality had me go and get it. Trying to paint a picture. Sit back and listen. My mom, though, she just started smoking till she graduated. By the time I was 14, I knew what was living day. So now I'm living.
Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Baraka Thon to all my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Ilathun by Hashem Yahweh Shai to all my sisters. I am Officer Durak of the I.S.U.P.K, founded on 125th Street in 1969. We are under Commandant General Yahana, who was appointed the general from the men above him that preceded him. He did not promote himself to general. So here in the I.S.U.P.K, we operate under rank because that brings order. Just like Christ follows the Most High, we follow the man above us. So with that, I'm going to get in today's class, And today's class topic is what is going on with our people? What's going on with our people? Why are our people such a mess? What is it? Last hired, first fired, um, number one in all the diseases, blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension, suffering from post traumatic stress. The list goes on and on. Why can't we seem to get out of this predicament? It was like Marvin Gaye used to say, what's going on? So what's really going on with our people? What's really going on with our people is, you know, we don't want to follow the statutes, laws, and commandments, first of all. But I'm just not going to say that to you. I'm going to prove it to you. See, the problem with our people is we lack education. We are not educating our children, our people, with the knowledge of self. What happened to us? Why we're in this state? What does it take to get us back to the rightful place where we're supposed to be? So it all starts with education. Like they say, if you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat the past. But as long as you're entrusting your oppressor to educate your children, he's only going to educate them to be oppressed. That's just common sense, I mean, you just that it is what it is, I mean, you really can't be mad at that because why would they want to educate you on your former glory? Because then you'll start striving and do it what it takes to get back there. So, that's really what's going on with all this critical race theory, because if the critical race theory is a war on Black, Hispanic, and Native American history because they don't want you to get back to your former glory. They don't want you to get back to your culture. They don't want you to follow the statutes, laws, and commandments. They don't want you to do that because then you'll be back on top. They want to stay where they are. So, let's start out with Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Boom. Just what I was saying. We're destroyed from lack of knowledge, from not knowing our history, from not knowing our culture, um, the things that we used to do, the customs we had that we use to govern our society. We're too busy caught up into their culture. We're like, I don't know if anybody ever watched Star Trek and they got the board where the board goes around and just simulates every planet of the universe, we have been simulated. You have been programmed to not embrace your culture, to not even consider what your native tongue is, to not research it. You've been programmed to entrust, to trust your oppressor to not only teach you about your past and your children. How silly is that? Now that's just silly. So if you want better for your children, and I understand the oppression is real, 40% inflation, the oppression is real. Uh, they say the job market is booming, but they're all temp service jobs. So unless you have that degree in that field that is not cramped in, that's not overcrowded, you know, because a lot of these jobs, there's so many people qualified that, well, they're going to do like anybody would do. They're going to hire their own kids first. They're going to hire their own kids. So we have to teach our children to research what is the expanding field and how to get in at, they say that the kids out of college is making 100,000 plus. We need to push them in that. That's what they need to be pushed for. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but for the ones that it is. And for the ones that know we need to make a change because our children are dying, you need to get with like-minded people. That's how we are in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Rihanna. We are like-minded people. We are seeing our kids are dying, gang violence, high unemployment rate. The crime in the schools the school system is just off the chains. It's a war zone. The schools are a war zone, and this society teaches you to follow your heart. Oh, I feel, well, I think. That's the way this society is teaching our children to strive off of emotion versus off of principle. We have a guide for our conduct, which keeps us safe. It prevents diseases. It keeps us healthy. Proven, proven fact, proven fact. It isn't proof. It isn't. It isn't. It's a no-brainer. But let's go in here and see what all this follow the heart. I'm just going to follow my heart. You hear it all the time. Oh, well, my heart is telling me, brother, do not listen to your heart. Your heart will steer you wrong. Your heart, you'll be following behind this wicked woman that's running around cheating on you, spending up all your money. Don't be foolish. Don't follow your heart. But let's see what our records have to tell us about the heart. I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 19. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 19. Thus said the Lord unto me, oh, Salakia, that is not Salakia. 1 minute. Salakia. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? That's what we're talking about, the heart. Don't listen to the other nations. Don't listen to them. Don't follow your heart. It's deceitful and wicked, and it will steer you wrong. That's why we have statutes, laws, and commandments. I don't know what type of thing your heart could be telling you, lusting after your sister, lusting after your brother's wife. There's just no telling you. Don't follow your heart. Lusting after your brother's wife is against the law. You risk death. You going to sleep with your brother's wife. You both gonna get killed. You might work yourself up into a frenzy and been drinking and just take it. Then you definitely gonna get put to, it's a death sentence. We don't put people to death, but the Most High in Christ do. I'm not saying He will, but you're gonna get your just due. Let's just put it like that. You're not gonna go unpunished. He might not do it right away. It might take a while, but He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. Look what He did to King David. Had him running around like a madman, eating grass. So don't follow your heart. Whatever you do, don't listen to it. Don't get in this book and find out what the law is on whatever your heart is telling you. You got that woman, she done went off and she's sleeping with other men, and oh, I just love her so much. No, let her go. Seek guidance in this book, because this book says for some women that you better off just to leave them alone. I really can't think of it, but one of them says, I suffer rather a bitter death than be with a deceitful woman. Paraphrasing, but there's several scriptures in there about that. Get you some counsel. Call the I.S.U.P.K. Give us a call. We have counsel. You can get you some real righteous counsel that will straighten you out and make you strong. It will make you strong. It's not going to make you weak. Following your heart will make you weak. Don't do it. Our book tells us not to. That's why we have these records. So that you will man up and be prepared to what you have to deal with out here on a regular basis. Now, also a big problem of what's going on with our people is that they run away from this book. They see this book and they think, oh, here they go. And we jumping up and down, just as gay as could be. So, shaking and the tangerine or whatever the thing they call, here they go. That. Plus, a lot of people know what the pastor pushing is a lie. Plate coming around 3, 4 times. The pastor ain't even working. He's staying in the house that the church bought. Church paying his car note, sending him and his wife to Africa for a vacation under the false that he's trying to gather. He's trying to build a church in Africa. What sense that make? When our people are over here homeless, living in tents, dying. Our kids are dying on the border in cages, being locked up by the oppressor while they watch the Ukrainians just walk right through. It's from lack of education, Stockholm syndrome. You've been just sit in the dark and just abused for so long. As soon as somebody throw you a half a piece of bread, that you would do anything that person says. Deprogram yourself. You're brainwashed. Christianity is a cult. It's a lie. Research it for yourself. It's a lie. I know you following Big Mama. Big Mama is in her comfort zone. She's in her emotions. Use logic. Research it. Go to the library. Find out. See, and this is another problem, is that when we tell people that the Israelites, a lot of them don't even accept it. Get out of here. That's those people. They don't even consider it. Don't want to research it. And the Jewish people claim that they're Jews by their mother's lineage. When even in science, when they trace down the history, it's by the male, by the Y chromosome. So that's just logic just tells you that's a farce. But let's go and see what the book has to say about that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation. That means they got everybody, all 12 tribes together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families. They're going through the bloodline. By the house of their fathers. So this is what our records tell you. You want to trace your heritage? You ain't got to go do that. What's that DNA search, or I forget the tree or whatever it's called, the tree, so that you could trace your lineage. You don't have to do all that. If you could get, who your father is, if you could get the death records, find out who his father was, and so on and so forth. Because that DNA research thing will steer you wrong. Well, you're 12% this, and 10% that, and 3% over here, and you're 16% over there. So you just a melting pot. You don't have a clue what you are. And I've seen, I got friends that used to think that they were mixed, and they were confused. Am I black? Am I white? Am I Asian? Am I black? Answers all the questions. You are what your father are. So forth, so on down the line. That's by the house of our fathers. That's how we do it. All right. I'm going to go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. See, and the problem is that it ain't so much as us, I want to say, being oppressed as much as with what we have to wrestle with to get us straight. The Christian church, critical race theory, their history versus our history, our culture. So, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. All this critical race theory, they don't even tell you the truth about the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman. They'll have you thinking they was running around in the woods, and they saw the slave patrol, and they just hid. It was real quiet. No, they had dogs. Dogs sniff you out. Bloodhounds. So it was an actual underground railroad that didn't too many people know how to navigate. Harriet Tubman knew how to navigate the Underground Railroad. So they get under there and they lose them all the time. The people come down there looking for them and they ain't got a clue. That's why she was able to last that long. But the question is, where did she learn all that from? Where did she learn how to maneuver that terrain? They never tell you in history. She learned it from her dad. They never tell you how many people he freed or led to the north, which we know now was just another form of persecution and oppression. But they never talk about that. They don't teach about Robert Smalls. I didn't learn about Robert Smalls in school. I learned from being self-taught. All the senators during the Reconstruction, they quick to tell you about Nat Turner and how he went on a rampage. Well, they called Nat Turner and killed him, but they ain't too quick to tell you about Haiti, how Haiti was the first free place that a slave could go to and truly be free. They're not telling you that. That's all critical race theory to them, and that's BS. That's how they keep you being oppressed. They're not going to tell you about the hieroglyphs that they found over in, I know it's South America. I'm not sure if it's Peru or Mexico, but they found artifacts that are small pyramids, which we built all the pyramids, and that's in our book of records. And that on the bottom of the pyramids is written in Paleo Hebrew, the son of the father comes. They're not going to, that's hidden. They hide that type information. It's because they don't want you to know where you come from. There is a lot that they're hiding from you. You know, certain places in Egypt, when you get to the tombs, they won't even let you go in. Because why would they want some people that they make all this money off of, that they continue to profit off of, to become empowered? Then they can't make that mass profit like they do. So, they're never gonna let go of our heel, but they hate this. This bruises their head. Just like the book says, they hold our heel, we bruise their head. Same snake slithering around being sneaky in the garden is the same snake slithering around being sneaky. Snakes ain't never talk. There is no talking snake. That's a metaphor, So, it is what it is. So hopefully that enlightens you a little bit on that. And our people suffers from Stockholm syndrome bad. It's a brother next to me, this brother running around in dresses. Big old 6-foot brother in a relationship. She got him following his heart. Just follow your heart. I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 83, verse 3. Yeah, just follow your heart. They'll be over there probably arguing about her dresses. He's stretching out her drawers. Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's their whole agenda, to keep you destroyed. They don't want you to embrace your culture, because they know that means their kingdom it's already fallen, but it's going to completely collapse. But it's collapsing right now before their eyes. They study this book, and the things that they have read in this book, they see coming to fruition. They see it actually happen. The prophecy in this book is real. All these things are happening just as it is written. So, don't trust a people who wants you to stay oppressed, to educate your children. Of course, you got to go to school. You got to be able to compete out here and survive. But you make sure your kids know where they come from. They really need to know their roots. You'll have him running around here like the Mormons, thinking like, oh, when we get to heaven, everybody's going to get turned white. or what is it? It's a group out there that believes that when they get to heaven, that they're going to get white women. There's another group that believes it's okay to rape women. No, brother, that's all that is against this book. Because, see, heaven is on earth. You know, it's 12 gates on the kingdom of heaven. You know, so you gotta realize that that being the case, and the earth is here, so we're still gonna have the sun. And if we all were to get turned white, we catch skin cancer. And Christ said that not one part of the law will be done away with, you know. So if that's being the case, how you think you gonna get this woman from the other nation? And here in the I.S.U.P.K, we're sharper than that. We don't even go by color. We don't suffer from colorism. We realize that colorism was an invention to divide people. That's what color. Even white people don't believe they're the same people. I'm German. I'm French. I'm Britain. I'm Russian. I'm Polish. I'm Armenian. They only believe they're the same people. So, you know, don't fall into that trap of colorism, because that's an invention. So just like this critical race theory. All right. Now I want to go to 2nd Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, see, this is what we have to do to get back to where we're supposed to be, our former glory, where we're ruling this entire planet, so that we're in our world versus where we are now in their world. See, we're not even in our own world. You know, and they say that all that, you hear that all the time. It's the white man's world. It's your world. We're not in our own world. We're not running nothing. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. Turn from your wicked ways. Turn from your wicked ways. Stop following the ways of the wicked. You're the righteous. You don't want to be judged with the wicked or get a punishment like the wicked got coming, because you're going to be judged with the righteous. But you know, if you want to be on the good standards, quit following the ways of the wicked. That's not your culture. It's not your culture. You know, you're not Roman. You're not a Buddhist. You're not a Hindu. You're not from Pakistan. You're not. And this is what kills me. Um, they got this continent over here, South and North. What? America. So, for the people that do math out there, when you get to South and North America, what's the common denominator? America. Even though it might be Mexico, Colombia, whatever. The key word is America. So don't think you're immune to the oppression, because you're not. That's why your continent, your land is under the umbrella of America. So, and if you don't follow their ways, you can't compete on the global market. Why? Because you have gone away from your culture. You don't love your neighbors. They got the Cubans against the Mexicans. Um, Look at the island Haiti against uh, the other part of the island. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I cannot think of that other part of but Haiti is literally a island that's split in two, where they had taught one that they're different from the other, so they're against each other. You know, that's what they done to Haiti. So you can't follow the ways of the oppressor. He gonna teach you to kill your brother. You know, chaos, just complete chaos. So I'm gonna read that one more time. That's Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, we are the most high in Christ people, which are called by my name, shall humble thyself and pray and seek my face. Seek out his face, brother. If you seek out his face, you'll know that he was a brother, just like me and you. He's our ancestor, a part of our lineage. He came from out Joseph's nuts, and turn from their wicked ways. Quit following them people. Stop following them. Christmas, Valentine's Day, 4th of July, Memorial's Day. Now they got a celebration for every day, the dog, the bagel, except for a heterosexual day. You ever notice that? Quit following them wicked people. Quit learning their ways. Separate yourself. Be holy, which means be separate. Then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. That's what it takes for us to save our kids from all this gang violence, from all this complete pandemonia that's going on. It hasn't stopped. That Black Lives Matter march didn't stop it. 60 years of the Civil Rights March didn't stop it. This is the Black Panther Party didn't stop it. The Nation of Islam didn't stop it. The who else is that? That Pan Africa movement, Marcus Garvey didn't stop it. The that Moroccan movement, they wearing the red hats, hasn't stopped it. It hasn't stopped it, brother. It hasn't stopped the oppression the killing of our children, our sisters coming up missing, it hasn't stopped it. All right, with that, I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. And like I said, Salakia, all this dark skin, light skin, oh, he ain't my people. He white. You suffer from colorism. That is an invention. If you running around here and you don't know this person's lineage, well, maybe you should learn about it first before you just start talking, before you make yourself look silly. You cannot judge a person by the color of their skin. But just don't take my words for it. Let's go into reference and see what our records have to say. Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled birds. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble, all the beasts of the field. Come to devour. So, saying my heritage is like a speckled bird. And just as you see, we are all shades. We're different shades. We're not all dark. We're not all copper toned. We do get to the very, very light of the light. Don't fall into that trap. That's a way to keep you separated from your brother. So now you're committing a sin because you don't think that's your brother, because you think he's white. White is actually an invention. There's plenty of white Hispanics, plenty of them that's being oppressed just like you. You ever look at those? You could research this. You could go and look at some old Aztec and Maya pictures, and they're all different shades. They're not just dark. They're not just light. They're all different shades. So don't fall into that trap. Get that out of your mind. That's part of that Stockholm syndrome. You've been conditioned. You've been brainwashed to think like that. It's time for us to deprogram ourselves and come back to our culture. All right, now I'm going to go to Revelations chapter 18, verse 4. Revelations chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye not be partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Come out of her, my people. Break that chain of thought where that you have that's been programmed into you. Dissimulate. Come back to your own culture. That's what this verse is saying. Come out of her. come out of her, because we're not necessarily wrestling with people. We are wrestling with a state of mind. Your mindset, your thought process of where you err in your thinking, so that you can get some clarity. So that you can have some clarity in your thought process, so you will have some understanding on what's going on, why things are playing out the way they are, why you're having such a hard time. Because if you don't understand it, it would drive you crazy. There's plenty of brothers out there whose mind has snapped just simply because the rent is too goddamn high and they can't keep figuring out how to keep paying rent and to keep this roof over their head, and they just went nuts. You see them all the time. With that, I'm going to go to Hosea chapter 5, verse 15. Hosea chapter 5, verse 15. This is what the Most High has to say. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. So I tell you something, all this, you see there's nobody that's more religious than the black people. They come from all around just to hear us sing. They love the way we sing. We've been holding on to the faith for a long time. The problem is that the pastor has steered us wrong. He sold us out. He's not educating on us on what we need to be educated on. He's not making sure that we keep those statutes, laws, and commandments. He's not giving out counsel with guidance throughout this book. Because it has to start with the law. Because if you think the law is done away with, well, even though you try and so-called do the right thing, it's no sweat if you fail. If you slip, you just say, oh, it ain't even a slip. Or you just like, forget it, I ain't going to, oh yeah, I'm under grace, he'll forgive me. All I got to do is pray right before I die. I could just go on and be wicked and just evil and just killing and raping and selling drugs and just doing the most. All I got to do at the last minute. No. That last minute, that's when you go up to the Father, you go to sleep. Then when he decides to put you back down here, you come back down here with your judgment. You kid, get your judgment before you even leave. Hey, we talking about the creator of everything seen and everything not seen. And he will not be mocked, and he is not to be toyed or played with. So if you are doing that, don't wonder why you're having issues. And there's no doubt that you're having issues in your life. And this is the reason why. And with that, I'm going to end this class. Shalom, Israel.